Let's talk more broadly about the future of regulation, Brad. And a lot of media discussion is focusing in on Bitcoin. We can't hide from the fact that this is the one that people are focusing on at this moment in time in particular. Someone in the industry said to me this week, Bitcoin is too big to fail. The regulators can come in and mount an attack, but they'll fail. But where they perhaps could create waves is that they can take regulated businesses and say, you can't mess with this anymore. You have to separate yourselves. How do you see this playing out? Do you think mounting an attack from regulators is likely? And if so, why would it come?
You know, I think Bitcoin is certainly here to stay. I mean, you're now talking about the crypto industry, which, you and I probably first started talking about the crypto industry together when it was maybe $100 to $200 billion market.
Yes.
Say it's 10x that, really $2 trillion. And, whether we characterize it as too big to fail or not, I think at the end of the day, we should focus on, are we solving real problems with these technologies? If it's just speculation, it's just speculative hype, that will not sustain. But Bitcoin's solving a real problem. There's no question about that. And that's a store of value. Now, Bitcoin has not served what some thought might be the case in solving a payments problem. When you use proof of work or mining to validate transactions, that consumes a massive amount of energy. Bill Gates was recently quoted as saying that Bitcoin transactions are the least efficient payment transaction that man has ever created. And that doesn't mean that Bitcoin goes away. In fact, I believe Bitcoin will be very successful. It's the reason why we at Ripple are using XRP. It's about 100,000 times more efficient on a per transaction basis in terms of energy costs, speed of transaction. It's a much more efficient for something like a payment.
It's interesting because people are just starting to talk about this and recognize the sustainability questions, particularly as companies like Tesla, for example, PayPal, companies that have huge or relative degrees of commitment to sustainability are investing in something that's considered, environmentally incredibly costly. My interest in this sort of pertains to the role that these individual currencies play, whether it's Bitcoin or Ether or XRP, in the sort of future development and changes that we see in the financial sector. Do these issues, like the environmental costs and the relative costs, hold these digital assets back?
Look, the way I think about this is the industry needs to come together. And I think that if we want to see these technologies have the impact we think they can have in really revolutionizing how the financial systems work, not just in payments, but in maybe insurance or security settlement. There's a whole bunch of transactions that blockchain can make more efficient for consumers, for businesses. But I think we need to acknowledge that sometimes version 1 of technologies need to be iterated, and certainly the power consumption associated with proof of work as a validation. And I think I give credit to the Ethereum community, which has been putting a lot of effort into transitioning off of a proof of work into what I'm sure, very familiar with, proof of stake. So I think things like that will allow those technologies to scale into the future and to serve customers effectively, but not acknowledging that power and carbon footprint are real issues, I think it could limit the success of these technologies.
Yeah, don't be a denier, accept it and work out how we raise efficiency or what the utility value is relative to the cost. Brad, very quickly, exactly. I know you are a Bitcoin investor. Do you think Bitcoin's too big to fail?
I think Bitcoin is not going away, that is for sure. I think the whole crypto industry is not going away.
So yes, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Brad, great to chat to you. Keep us posted, please.
Good talk to you.
Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple there. Thank you.
If you go by that, I'm not selling my XRP.